when it comes to calling, send a text first that says who you are, introing yourself. Give them a heads up. They'll be able to see your number, know that you're not spam, and it increases the likelihood that they're going to answer. If you say, hey, this is Chris from Chime Real Estate. I'm going to give you a call in about 10 minutes. I'd love to have a quick call with you about your needs, and I'll set you up on some custom property alerts at minimum and send you on your way. Something like that. They're going to respond to that text message and say either I can take it or I can't. And that starts a conversation, which is a huge conversion metric.
Because the management and transparency is what's very important. So once you submit a referral, you're going to have your own Home Advantage account, and it's going to tell you where everything sits. So if you have 10 referrals that you've sent into the network, it's going to give you all 10 referrals. It's going to tell you every milestone that client is sitting in, whether they're touring homes, whether they're in escrow. And you now can manage through the Home Advantage application as far as what your pipeline looks like for the referrals that you've sent. And so it's pretty sophisticated, and it's all click of a button, guys.
All right. Cool. Hey guys, what's happening? Let's make sure that the chat is enabled for everybody. Everyone. Yes, Jake already did that because he's the man. Hey, we got a good crowd today. What is happening?
Yeah, I got it already 50, 60, 70 people.
That's so sweet. I love it. I love that you guys are investing in your real estate business by investing time with us. We're up to 76 people. Hey, I'm just going to kick it off. And in the meantime, let us know where you're watching from in the chat. Drop a city and state. My name is Nick Baldwin. I am co-founder of LabCoatAgents. And today we're going to talk about the 360 approach to lead generation with the manager of digital marketing at Chime, Chris Gonzales. And, lead generation is at the top of every agent's mind. It's everything, our business is driven by lead generation. The more leads means more transactions, right? Unfortunately, many agents fall into the trap of investing in the next great lead source. I got to get my hands on that shiny object. Without a cohesive plan to convert those leads into deals, they're disappointed. So what's the best strategy for lead generation, and how do you maximize the return on those efforts? So Chris, thanks so much for being here, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I want to touch base on everything you just talked about. And you brought up a great point, is the follow-up and lead qualification part of, running your lead generation. So I'm going to cover that as well. And I brought up a document for that to share with everybody, because honestly, that's the biggest game changer to discussing conversion rates with people. I get asked that loaded question all the time. What's your conversion rate? Are you the magic source for lead gen, right? I got to tell you that a lot of people do very similar methods for marketing when it comes to how we actually use the tools: Google, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. Like, they're all very similar ways to market.
Yeah.
And so I want to share that with you, why it takes, the lead qualification side is because, and everyone think about this: if I drive leads to your website right now and you don't call, text, email them, qualify them, do a thing, right? But I drive engaged leads to your system. Put yourself in that seat. How likely are you to do business with somebody that doesn't call you, doesn't reach out, doesn't give you value props? How likely are you going to use their service, especially when it comes to one of the largest purchases in your entire lifetime?
Yeah,
right?
Probably not going to use that person.
Yep. Yeah. So I get asked that all the time about, hey, these leads aren't that great. I've called them once. Well, hey, you need to call them 12 to 14 more times, and text them, email them, give them some value props when you do so, and give them reasons that they're going to answer the phone for you versus the guy across the street who's marketing but actually providing some value. So again, there's the biggest magic button for you guys to convert leads is developing a really highly sort of engaged qualification plan with yourself, having manual calls, or your ISA having some manual calls, but you can also automate the texts and the emails that go out after registration to help out with that qualification. And they are none the wiser, right? Your leads are none the wiser if you automate this, and it
I mean,
actually
you have
takes,
to. You have to.
yeah, you have to.
I mean, there's no
Yep.
way that, let's say you're getting, a couple hundred leads a month from, I don't know, Facebook, Instagram, realtor.com, Zillow. Let's say you're getting a couple hundred leads a month. I mean, nobody can call every one of those people in less than 2 minutes. In some instances, less than a minute, on their own. You just can't do it.
Yep. And that's the great part about setting up that smart plan that works as part of your qualification, is that you can build a smart plan that sends a text, maybe even 2 texts and an email thanking them for registering, more of a personal thank you rather than that welcome email they get from Chime. And then you send yourself call tasks for over the next, few days, where maybe you do make a couple manual calls, but the rest of it is automated text and emails, sort of reaching out, asking different things, providing value props. Whether it's a buyer or seller, you can have 2 separate qualification plans, or even a renter qualification plan.
I always
but
say,
that'll really help out.
I always say that unless someone tells you to stop contacting them, just keep contacting them.
100%. And come up with methods to do so that are different than what you would think, right? If you're a caller, you need to text and email. If you're a texter, you need to call and email. You need to mix it up, but also be strategic. Like when it comes to calling, send a text first that says who you are, introing yourself, give them a heads up. They'll be able to see your number, know that you're not spam, and it increases the likelihood that they're going to answer. If you say, hey, this is Chris from, Chime Real Estate. I'm going to give you a call in about 10 minutes. I'd love to have a quick call with you about, your needs, and I'll set you up on some custom property alerts at minimum and send you on your way. Something like that. They're going to respond to that text message and say, either I can take it or I can't. And that starts a conversation, which is a huge conversion metric. So,
yeah, I agree with you on that.
But yeah, I wanted to cover, I know we got going about lead qualification. I wanted to
talk
share
about what 360 marketing is.
Yeah, let me go ahead and share my screen. I have some things pulled up here, but I thought this was a great, sort of recap of what 360 marketing is and how we look at it at Chime. This is from Forbes magazine. I'll go ahead and read it. Put it simply, it's a 360 marketing plan that is an integrated campaign with focused messaging spread across multiple points of customer contact. Multiple points of customer contact in real estate, your world, and I'm stopping here because it's important, is everything after you wake up in the morning. You guys all work for yourselves. You guys go to the store, you guys go to the grocery store, you have conversations with new people. That is lead gen in your business. You represent yourself as an agent or your brokers that you work for. So after you wake up in the morning, anything and everything that you can do is considered marketing for your business. And remember that, because it all counts. So spread across multiple customer contact points means, it could be a handshake, it could be seeing a commercial, it could be a postcard, could be digital advertising, could be multiple forms of digital advertising, could be social media. It could be, you're on someone else's website as a referral business. Those are all marketing acquisition points, touch points that your customer can see. So next statement here is, while it doesn't sound much different than marketing, right? Marketing in general, it is. Putting your message and brand in front of customers, a successful 360 campaign requires thoughtful placement for your message and to cater to unique audiences at each channel, but ultimately drive to a single unified message, which that unified message for all of you is, the value provided as real estate agents, in your area, as leaders, market leaders in your area. And the goal there is to have a consistent brand message across all of your placements, every placement that I shared. So I'll go ahead and go to my next document here that really encompasses why Chime is so powerful in this. Is we offer quite a lot of it within our system, right? A huge benefit to Chime's organic side was Social Studio, bringing a social poster within the platform to really elevate posting to 5 separate free social media outlets that you can do right within the CRM. That is one huge version of spreading that brand awareness for your brokerage. But not only that, we do have postcards within our system. We do listing ads, seller campaigns, branding campaigns, multiple forms of PPC. You also have smart plans that are automated emails, property alerts that are automated based on search criteria. If you have those enabled in your CRM, you have the CMA tool, home report. You have quite a lot of forms of marketing within our one system. Now, how 360 really goes above and beyond that is we're able to spread your brand and your value props across all these channels at this top of the line acquisition point. But what happens, let's say, when you're running people to your website and they decide to leave, maybe use someone else and not register with you? A bigger part of our 360 marketing is, like that document before that I shared from Forbes states, is that reaching them at multiple points within their stages so that the message is catered. And that's what we do here with retargeting. And we do with our re-engagement campaigns, just at a baseline by using our dynamic retargeting ads. So what that means, again, to you guys is people that come to your website from all these top forms of acquisition, where you're leaving a link, maybe you're having them visit your social pages. We're able to create an audience to retarget to based on web visitors that do not register, and Facebook and Instagram page engagers that do not register. Meaning, if you're running PPC only and all of that web traffic is hitting your website, on a good day for our best clients, that rate of conversion for people to register from all that PPC traffic is about 15%. That means that about 85% of people defer. So when you set up these retargeting and remarketing campaigns, you're actually catering to this audience that's well interested in real estate, but decided not to register with just your business the first time around. And so you're able to hit them with this secondary marketing that it's a warm audience that has seen your website or visited your social. So they're considered warm, and you're able to supply some extra branding to sort of get them over the hill to register with your business. And then again, driving more registrations to your CRM, this little logo down at the bottom. And so again, it's all the same message driving to your CRM. We just hit them at multiple stages. Then after they register, we're able to create a re-engagement campaign for this audience where we upload your whole CRM list and anyone else that you want to upload into our system, and we can send them specific marketing. So the real huge benefit of that is if you already have smart plans and property alerts and things going out to them, we can also guarantee that they're going to see your campaign as they open their social media platforms. And you guys can deliver certain messaging, or you can use our dynamic re-engagement campaigns, where it shows a catalog of homes within whatever area you guys want to define. But again, I've set up, video campaigns providing value props. So if it's people in your CRM already and you have some new loan types that you want to share, you could, make a video of that and just discussing how that could help your clientele within your market area. And we could use a video for re-engagement to your CRM and provide value to those people who've already registered. So there's multiple things we can do here to sort of create a marketing funnel from this top of the line acquisition and then hit them at multiple stages. So in all encompassing, it's 360 marketing and a full funnel strategy, which compares to like your top brands like Best Buy, Apple. This is the same thing.
Why this is so cool
top brands do this.
Yeah, the reason why this is so important is because, like you said, your Targets, your Amazons, your Apples, your Home Depots, all of these places do this. Like they might, Apple or Home Depot might not call you, but I'm sure they have texting lists, they have retargeting, they have email, they have mail. There's lots of different ways and you have to think of yourself as, the Apple of your market. Are you marketing to people the same way that the top brands in the world are marketing to people? Because if you're not, you got to really rethink that.
Yeah. And if you guys can still see me, my example here is I like to do real world assessment, right? As I pulled up my email right here, my very last email that I got says 20% off Target, off betting. I wasn't looking up betting, but that's someone's not emailing me that automated. So that's a smart plan essentially for real estate, that you set up a smart plan delivering value of whatever your value prop is necessary to your area. And that could be, like I said, finance, Maybe certain areas are dropping faster than others. Maybe certain areas are more equitable than others. And you can share that message through automated smart plans and stay at the top of the inbox with your customers. That's really what's important there. So it lets you compete the same way these larger brands do, with staying top of mind.
The great thing about it is, like you mentioned, that you got an email from Target telling you that there's 20% off bedding. You may not have been looking for bedding, right? Which it's not a dynamic email.
Yeah.
You know, like this is going to send dynamic emails. It's going to send them homes like the homes they were looking at. It's going to show them on Facebook and Instagram homes like the one they were looking at. That's what makes it dynamic.
Yep.
Like if I'm not looking for bedding, that's just going to be annoying.
Yeah, that is the beauty.
Yeah.
Yep. So that is the beauty of the dynamic. To go into detail there on you know how that works, like as Nick was discussing, is there's tracking tools on every real estate website, every shopping website you go to. There's Facebook and Instagram and Google tracking tools. When we go visit that website, it logs in our Facebook account. We're now a customer for that type of business. And we're able to get ads for that type of business and retargeting from that business. Let's say once we visit their website, they can set up retargeting. It's called cart abandonment ads in e-com. So when you add something to cart and you abandon, and you all of a sudden get an ad for that same product, and you're like, how did they know? Well, it's exactly how the dynamic real estate ads work. Is if you're visiting a property on someone's website, and you all of a sudden see one of our dynamic ads with that exact property, that's exactly the same thing. It is a cart abandonment ad for real estate, because you've already been to that page and loaded up that home, looked at photos, and now you're going to get an advertisement seeing it. The likelihood of that home catching that person's eye is increased that much more since they've visited that property already also.
Yeah.
So huge here to drive traffic back to your website.
There's a lot of questions in the chat around, like, how much does it cost? What should my budget be? How much is the add-on? Can people at Chime help me? And we're going to get to that stuff. But, you know, listen, think of it like this, guys. When you go to a listing consultation and you sit down at the table and the seller says, okay, what's your commission? You say, I'm glad you asked me that question. Let me show you the value proposition, and then we're going to definitely answer that for you because I know it's important to you. Same thing here, guys. Sit tight. We're showing you the value, then we'll get to the cost.
Yeah, and it's a variable cost. So it's a conversation we love to have with you guys, because retargeting, remarketing is definitely a variable cost. We do have minimums for our paid lead gen, but to set up more of this full funnel strategy where you have retargeting, remarketing, just to keep it simple, we like to start you at around $900 to make sure that that is able to be a working product for the retargeting and remarketing. We need a certain amount of budget, being that we need a certain amount of acquisition and a certain amount of budget for these campaigns to even out and sort of feed your funnel so that they can balance. Anything under that, we're going to be coming in underneath Facebook and Google's recommended minimum budgets. So again, we like to start at around the $900 marker to build these more robust plans. Now with that, it brings up a great point. With that, at $900 with us, we do supply you with the Social Studio Pro and CMA for all your paid leads for free. So at $900, it's a great value. You're able to open up your world of doing a more full funnel retargeting, remarketing, and acquisition type strategy, as well as getting some of the extra tools that'll help you market in other areas like organic social studio and automated posting that really helps you with that robust view, that 360 marketing view of your business.
So there's a question. That's a good question. Is it 900 in just PPC, or is that both Facebook and PPC?
It's combined. So we use the 85-15 rule. This is an easy one for you guys to go look up. Acquisition and retargeting, 85-15. Acquisition, 85% of your budget, 15% goes to retargeting and remarketing. Now, this number can be played with a little, but that's a good rule of thumb to start for you guys.
Also, another question is it only for new leads? Because if they have a database already, you know, you got to have a good amount of leads in your database. You can't like retarget, 10 people. You have to have several
Yeah.
hundred in there. So you can just do the retargeting if you already have the database and you don't want the new leads, right?
Yep, you can do the retargeting, but here's the problem is that that list of people, may only be 20,000 people. Sounds like a lot, but when it comes to marketing to 20,000 people, I can do that on Facebook and Instagram with about 20,000 people for $200 to $400 and be pretty darn successful after 3 months to hitting a
Yeah.
large portion of that 20,000. What happens after that? They keep getting the same message over and over and over and over and over again, and you have no one new coming into your system. So you want to develop an acquisition first, and that's why acquisition has such a high percentage to it, to feed your retargeting. The more people that register, that feeds your remarketing. So the more people that visit acquisition feeds your landing page views and engagers that don't register, but you also increase how many people register so you can feed the re-engagement campaign.
Cool.
So you want to set up all three. You don't want one by itself, and it's really audience dependent. So if you have 150,000 people in your database already, yes, you might need a little bit more budget for your re-engagement campaigns. But if you only have 1,000 people visiting your website after 90 days, you don't need a huge budget for retargeting. So it's really taking a look at your audience sizes that you're bringing into your system. And that's why you want an acquisition budget first, is because you got to feed your retargeting and your re-engagement campaigns.
You said you had another slide, right?
Yeah, I do have another slide. So
Okay.
my other slide really from here goes more towards your follow-up, right?
Okay.
Someone asked real quick, 900 for how long? A week, a month? That's and I'm not sort of giggling because
Yeah.
that's a short amount of time when you think of a week or a month. The average time frame when someone registers on your website is about 9 months. So you need to have about a 9 months to a year plan to market before you're going to start seeing returns.
Don't come into
really
this
on
thinking
your
in 30
investment.
days. Yeah, don't come into this thinking in 30 days you're gonna, be a millionaire. Like, this stuff takes time, to cultivate. It takes time to build trust. It takes time for all of those things.
Yeah, and I'll give you guys a great example, right? I don't know Nick much past LCA and the partnership we have, right? And working with Nick. But if Nick were to ask me to buy a home from him right now, what's the likelihood that I would do that? Being that I don't know Nick's business practices, pretending that, I don't know him through LCA. This is the first time we've met. How likely am I going to use his business practices? I haven't heard his value props. He hasn't bought me lunch yet. He hasn't been to my property.
Say, he didn't buy you a drink yet.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to remember, when you run lead gen, this is their first impression of you. It's going to take a little while before they believe in your business. These aren't people that knew who you were already. That's where retargeting comes in. Maybe they saw your brand, but it takes people a while to sort of build that rapport with you to do business. And they need to hear your value props first and foremost and see your customer service skills before they start doing business with you. So that is my next slide, which really brings into the importance of lead follow-up. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to skip the follow-up. I'm going to show you guys a variety of what we offer first, because I had this one up. So sorry to jump ahead, but head to toe, we do PPC, both on Google and Bing, very similar products. I want you guys to all think about Bing though. I'm 42 years old. Anyone over my age knows what Bing is. Anyone younger doesn't really know what Bing is, besides ChatGPT being owned by Microsoft. Other than that, not very many people know what Bing is under my age, which means they have a career. If they're older than me, they usually have a career, maybe their second home that they're looking for. It's a more intentful audience, a more aged audience using Bing. So it could be a good option for you guys. We have a lot of great areas that we do Bing PPC in. Florida, for instance, let's use Orlando. I know some of you guys might be from Orlando. There's TV commercials marketing to an older demographic for Orlando. Bing is a great idea for an area like Orlando. It could be lucrative. We do Google LSA. We just released a new product where we have a virtual answering service for your Google LSA, and we're able to import the phone numbers into your database and tie the conversations into your CRM. So we do Google LSA. We do Facebook branding, Facebook dynamic catalog ads, which are DARE ads. Huge service here, underutilized by a lot of our competitors. So really, I think it's, that's the cart abandonment ads that we were just discussing. but dynamic catalog ads are huge. We can do branding on YouTube. And then really, I wanted to highlight this one is that print is not dead. I get tons of print in my mail still for all sorts of services, from you know, Camelback Toyota down the street from me trying to get me to turn my truck in to buy something else, or chewy.com, you know, puppies and toys and things like that, you know. So again, print, people use print. It's still a primary source of marketing. We offer that in-house, starting at $99 or 99 cents per postcard.
Well, that's pretty
As
good.
an a la carte service. If you buy a package from us, it drops to 87 cents per postcard with shipping and everything, for 6x9. So really great service that we have that within our system. And you're able to actually buy lists of people within a given market using our geo farming or our home data service that we offer now within GeoFarm. So really cool here if you're looking to, you know, farm out postcards to a lucrative neighborhood that is maybe worth more nowadays than it was 10 years ago, and you're trying to find some sellers, you know, and get them to capitalize on their equity. Listing promotion ads are Facebook listing ads for you seller agents that, you know, get a bunch of listings under your belt. It's a great way for you to start out marketing and get your feet wet, see how that is, because it goes out on social marketing that one property for you. It's a great way to get people to register for properties that have, you know, good attributes to them, you know, whether it's a view, a pool, oceanfront, whatever it may be. You know, it's a great way to advertise that listing and get some leads for that one listing. And then again, we offer that retargeting and remarketing. So I wanted to show you all of our services. And then now I will jump to the importance of your lead qualification. So this is our follow-up best practices document. Our marketing department made this for us because I use this in my conversations with you guys when we have lead gen consulting calls. If you guys don't do this side, doesn't matter who you use. You can use us, Sync, Ylopo, Boomtown, doesn't matter who. If you don't set up your follow-up best practices, you will fail. So if someone registers with your business and you don't have smart plans and you don't call, text, or email them vigorously, they will not ever answer the phone and most likely never use your service. Think of it that way. That's why you want follow-up. You know, that's the biggest reason. You want to start with setting up your admin first, your admin tasks, before you even run marketing. You're going to make sure your pipelines are manageable, your groups are set up, and categorizing your you know, buying types of people. You know, examples here, groups, use them as categories. You know, SOI, maybe renters, first-time home buyers. You know, use that as categories, your groups. And then after you set up pipelines and groups and you feel good about it, you're going to build smart plans. Smart plans, we have a huge library, and where you guys should all start is your long-term nurture plans. The reason being you want to start there is the majority of your leads that come into your system, whether paid or organic, do not answer the phone the first time around or the third. Most of these leads take a while before they're going to hand raise. So you want to put most of those leads on a long-term drip plan. What that allows you to do is focus on hand raisers. So instantly, if you set up your pipelines and groups correctly, and you have long-term nurture plans set up, you guys will already be ready to focus on hand raisers, and rather than doing all the busy work that a nurturing smart plan does for you.
Let me
That's the hugest thing.
Let me just let everyone know what a hand raiser is, in case they aren't familiar. A hand raiser is every day when you log into your CRM, those are the people who are taking action. Like, you know, Chris looked at a house 7 times. You know, Jennifer calculated a mortgage, or, you know, John saved a property. Like, those are hand raisers. Those are people who are like doing things that are important, and you should be following up with them because it's timely.
Yeah, or Nick registered 5 days ago and he's looked at 200 properties already.
Right, exactly. Like,
yeah, you know, like there's so many things you can see within the system. So utilize a system to focus on those hand raisers. And again, build out your admin stuff first so that it allows you to focus on hand raisers, and your smart plans do that busy work for long-term communication. And then after that, here's your lead qualification plan. And I'll provide this document to LCA so you guys can email this out to everybody who's attended today. I'll provide all my documents to you guys. But this is really the biggest step. And I want you guys to think about this. Is within the first 30 minutes, what happens when someone visits and registers on a real estate website? They get ads on their phone from your competition. If you're not doing remarketing or re-engagement or advertising, right? And they register on your website or register on Zillow or some other people's, they're going to get ads pretty quickly on their device. So it's up to you to make contact with that person really quickly because they're in the inquisitive stage where they're registering on people's websites. Just like
because if they've registered for yours, they've registered for someone else's.
Yep. And now it's essentially speed to lead. First person to bring value and hit that person's heart or emotions or solve a problem. Those are the three, those are the main two things that people do business with others for, is you're solving a problem or you're making an emotional connection. Those two main reasons. So that's your job to go spread value and make an emotional connection within 30 minutes. You want to make at least a text, email, and a direct phone call if you can. If you have an ISA team, that's really important within the first 30 minutes. And then after that, you want to have a really good plan to call them, text them, and email them within 10 days, 12 to 16 times minimum. And that's going to increase conversation started. That's the biggest metric after we run lead gen is how do I start more conversations?
And just so everybody knows, like those 12 to 16 attempts, like this is just not made up numbers. That's like scientific, testing. And those are the, that's the magic in between 12 and 16, just from like A/B testing,
Yeah. Any article you look for in lead generation and qualification for lead generation will tell you 10 to 15 call, text, and email attempts within the first 10 days. That's just the car industry, real estate, any industry that is a lead generation industry follows the same. So it's not something I pulled out of a hat somewhere. It's not a number that I guessed on. This is a number that I researched immensely. And it's 12 to 16 attempts will highly increase your conversation started.
Yeah. And
so that's the biggest trick.
Any ISA, company will tell you the same thing too. Like those are the numbers that work for them too. Someone was asking a good question. How many of the 12 to 16 are actual calls?
I would even it out, make it 5, make it 6 calls. And if you use a great one, I got this from one of the high functioning clients on the database. His name's Corey Prince. I'm going to call his name out. He does what we like to call reverse prospecting and uses a company called Sly Broadcast to automate some of those voicemail drops. So instead of you calling 5 or 6 times, you can drop voicemails maybe 2 or 3 times. Now you're only manually calling 3 times. Maybe you're only manually calling twice and you've built the rest to text, email, and drop voicemails for you automated in our system. That's the strength of automating your lead qualification, is it'll minimize how many manual calls that you and your ISA team makes and allow you again to focus on hand raisers. But you want to make sure that as you build that qualification plan, you make it sound charismatic and you provide value. So that people feel that it's a real correspondence versus an automated one. So after that, I tell people to be creepy about it. If you got leads that are taking actions and they're not answering, look them up on Facebook, look them up on LinkedIn. Everyone's got a LinkedIn these days. Search your leads on LinkedIn, find them. By adding them as a friend, it's going to build rapport. You're a real estate agent. You're not, creeping out on your leads. So go and add them as a friend, add them to your database and have them see the value you provide, on other forms of social media, and maybe they'll answer the phone quicker. So again, go look them up in any way that you can, and it'll help your lead qualification.
Yeah. You know what I would do first is look them up on LinkedIn also, because, the reason why I say that is because LinkedIn is the professional network, whereas Facebook is, the social network. So you're trying to conduct business with this person. So I would go to LinkedIn first And then if you don't get any action there, then go to the other networks.
Yeah. And remember this too, when you guys go to qualify people, when you call them, remember a lot of people have do not disturb on. Call them twice. So just remember this, if you call them twice, it can circumvent do not disturb because it thinks that it's an important call. Not only that, how many robocalls do you guys get where you get called twice? Almost zero, because they're set to call you once and move on. So again, calling twice will alert the person that it may be a real person trying to get a hold of me for a real tangible thing. Again, if you don't want to make anyone mad, what you say in that instance, and I'll give you guys an example, is after you call the first time, hang up after the voicemail picks up, hang up, call back and say, oh, I'm sorry, I meant to leave a voicemail. I'm sorry for calling you right back. If they answer, I intended to leave you a voicemail and got disconnected. I apologize. Wasn't trying to bug you. You know, if you need a way out to make sure that they're not upset, that's an easy one. You know, I hung up real quick, or I called you back because I wanted to leave you a voicemail. But call them twice, because that'll get you more people answering. And text them before you call to alert them of your phone number and the services that you're going to provide or the reason you're calling. Again, that'll give them a heads up and it'll increase the likelihood of them answering. So,
Very
but
good
yeah,
stuff.
so to answer everyone's question on conversion rates, and like as Nick and I discussed at the beginning, you need this to happen for your conversion rates to be there. If you want to say, all right, hey Sync, hey Chime, what's your conversion rate? We could all give you a number. None of that makes a difference unless you guys have a qualification plan. I'll tell you that national average is 1.5%. If you don't have this qualification plan, you're going to have under 1.5%. If you have a good qualification plan, you're going to beat 1.5% because that's our national average. So it's up to you guys to develop that plan to say, all right, I want a better conversion rate from the leads coming into my system, no matter where they come from.
Right. So like conversion rate is basically a moot point if you're not doing the work.
Yep, 100%. It's a moot point. I get asked all the time by people wanting to start lead gen, and I don't know them yet. So I mean, to me, it's a loaded question because I don't know their best practices yet.
Right. You could tell them, okay, the conversion rate for people who actually have a follow-up plan is.
Yeah. Yep. And yeah, this is an example of a qualification plan right here on the screen. Someone just asked. This is an example of a qualification plan, 12 to 15 attempts. You can automate that or do it yourself, but 12 to 15 attempts in the first 10 days is your example. You have to provide the value within that, but that is your example.
Yeah. Something else that you should probably put on this, incorporated into this sheet, which is, by the way, really good. Attempt to contact the person in less than 90 seconds.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's a great call. It's someone's going to be behind their computer still. They may have just registered. They may be on your website currently and have a question, and you're now reaching out. Some people think it's creepy, but again, you're reaching out immediately and showing the value of your service. I think that's more important to the person looking for that help. If they're ready, they're going to ask you for help and they're going to answer their phone.
And by the way, we're in a day and age where we're way past creepy.
Yeah, way past.
You know what I mean? Like everybody on social media knows that we're following them around. So don't worry about that stuff.
Yeah, I already checked out Nick this morning and saw him out in his backyard with his kids.
Yeah, right. Well, don't call and say, hey, Chris, this is Nick with EXP. Hey, I was just calling to see how the kids were. I saw little Timmy got his first touchdown the other day. I'm like, what? This is the first time we've ever talked. How do you know that? I was just looking at your Facebook page.
Yeah. Yeah. So to answer a couple more questions in here, someone says, what's a reasonable time to call? I think the same way most of you guys as real estate agents answer your phones too. So about 9 to 5. 9 to 8, maybe 8 p.m. might be late for some. 9 to 7.
Depends on where you're at.
Yeah, it depends on where you're at. Yeah,
like,
if you get a registration at 7:30 in the morning and you call them at 7:35, why not? Because they just registered with your business.
I'm in the Midwest. People eat dinner like super early here. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? You go to a restaurant 8 o'clock, it's already empty because people ate at like 5. So just kind of like know your market know, if you're in a commuting market where people drive long distances to work, that could be an opportunity to get in front of somebody like they're in the car, you know what I'm saying? At a certain time in traffic and they have nothing else to do but talk to you. Just understand what people are doing in your market and make that call yourself.
Yep. Yeah. I think that's really the biggest deal is like know your market. I mean, you could be in a very youthful market and you can make a call at 11 p.m. and someone probably answers.
Right.
So, it's again, just cater it to your market and to what time they're actually registering. And that'll help you guys with when it's a good time to call. But I would say stick with business standards unless someone's registering outside of hours, then they're looking outside of hours and that kind of gives you free reign to call them at the same time.
Yeah,
So
totally. Sweet. Let me see. Is there any final questions, comments, concerns? This is some good information. We are going to send out the information to people who are on this call. We have all of your email addresses because you've registered. See how that works? You register, we have your email address. So we'll get it to you. So don't worry about dropping your email in the chat. We have it already.
Yep. And if you guys have direct questions, this is a loaded one that I like to do here and there. But if you guys have direct questions for me or my team and want to get started or have more questions about, the services that we provide when it comes to marketing, I'm going to go ahead and drop my email in the chat. So it's loaded. I may not get back to you all if you email me all at once right away, at least, but I will get back to you. So go ahead and send me direct messages if you need, to ask me any questions or set up a consultation with one of my team members. We can go over with, a strategy with you, what you're looking to do and see what works and what fits. So thank you guys. Thank you for your time. And thank you, Nick.
Yeah, man, this was fun. Thanks so much for being here, guys. And listen, if you want a replay of this, go ahead and subscribe to the LabCoatAgents YouTube channel. If you subscribe and hit the little notification bell, you will get notified when this gets uploaded. And if you missed the webinar, it may go out in I don't know, Jake, you're behind the scenes. Will this go out in an email as a replay? I don't know if we do that. But definitely go subscribe to the YouTube channel and all the videos are there and this will be uploaded within the next day or so. All right, everyone. Thanks so much. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Have a good day.
All right, you too.